Birth and orgasms. Yes, your birth was meant to be an orgasm. People ask, can birth really be blissful or easy, orgasmic even? Absolutely. Nature designed the birth process for you to have the most pleasurable and spiritual experience, the greatest high of your life. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Here are 5 ways that orgasms and birth come together straight from the orgasms themselves. Feeling reborn, like Le Petit Mort, the orgasmic little death, and rebirth. I would happily give birth every day. It truly was the most positive, life-affirming, and empowering experience of my life. And it has enabled me to feel more confident in myself as a sensual and sexual woman since that day 32 years ago. It awakened me. Using orgasms and birth to heal. I healed more wounds, particularly sexual ones. I was assaulted at age 16 than years of therapy and support group meandering had. Using orgasms as a birth tool. So many women start the flow of their labor, even if it gets stalled out, they'll quick run have an orgasm to help bring the labor back on, because oxytocin, which is the big hormone in orgasms, is the same major hormone in birth, and so they both lead to the same place, this massive release. 2 pushes and he was out. 15 minutes from the time we left home, just 1 hour after the orgasm. Deepen your connection with your partner. My ecstatic births opened up a depth of intimacy and connection between us that I did not even know was possible. When you're that high on oxytocin, the highest during any human's existence, you bond most deeply with your baby and with your partner. Nature rocks. Birth orgasms as the most pleasure a woman has ever felt in her life. My birth experience is all the orgasms that I've ever had and will ever have in one experience. Here's Amanda herself, who did my Sexy Mama program, sharing her orgasmic birth story.
Okay, my orgasmic birth, because yes, that's possible. I feel like I've had pretty much all the types of orgasms that Kim talks about, which is amazing on its own. But for me, my birth experience is all the orgasms that I've ever had and will ever have, really, in one experience. I just freshly had a baby about 3 months ago, and it was one of the most pleasurable experiences of my life. And I think that the sexual work that I had been doing for the couple years beforehand was absolutely crucial in actually making it feel good. I think about it, when I look back on it, I almost cry, because it's greater than any orgasm that I've had so far. It really is just like, it really feels that like eternal. It feels like, I feel like I was born again. I obviously have no memory of when I was born, but that's what it felt like. It felt like I was coming into the world and my baby was coming into the world at the exact same time. And I think my connection that I've built with my cervix is so key. Like, I can feel, I've had so many cervical orgasms throughout doing the work with Kim, whereas before I started my work with Kim, it was basically nothing. You know, it just felt like kind of a no man's land, which is what a lot of women feel about their vaginas, which is crazy to remember that there ever was not feeling there. And something amazing that I did not have in my first pregnancy was basically any connection to my sexuality. My husband and I barely had sex my first pregnancy. I just felt like I had that, Madonna whore, like, I don't even know if this is right or safe, which is so stupid. It's like the dumbest thing in the world. It's so natural. But like, what I had in my second pregnancy was I felt beautiful. I felt sexual. I felt even like I self-pleasured like all the time. It was just amazing. I didn't feel guilty about it. You know, I'd go for like 2 hours or something like that, and just like, it doesn't feel weird. It's like, yes, there was a baby in me, but I'm still a woman. And this is only actually, I think, going to help the entire process. My labor, it didn't even feel like a labor. That word doesn't make sense to me for birth. Like, it doesn't feel like a labor to me. I had contractions, you know, like I don't even like to refer to them as contractions either. It's just, it doesn't fit my birth story. Like, I know, so I guess technically any contractions that I had, they didn't hurt. And I think a lot of that has to do with the breath work that I learned throughout taking Kim Salons. Like, the breath work was absolutely crucial, and just totally overcoming and bursting through any contraction that could have been painful. It's kind of funny because my labor itself, I don't even really know where it started and stopped, because I just felt like I was just kind of going through my day like fairly regularly, and it never got painful for me. It just felt good the whole time. I kept feeling like my baby's coming, you know, like I don't know when exactly, but my baby's on her way. And I didn't even know she was a girl at the time. So I was just sitting there in the pool, like just with my husband, just like thinking about her and thinking about my baby. And it's so insane. I was laying back, and then all of a sudden she just bursted through. She just bursted through, and all of a sudden she's crowning, and it just felt so amazing feeling her come down. Actually having the sensation to feel her entire body like come through was absolutely incredible. My husband picked her up and put her on my chest immediately, and I can't ever forget this. She was smiling at me, like she was born smiling, and she's such a happy, gorgeous, smiley baby now, but like to see her gorgeous face, a newborn, looking me directly in the eye and smiling at me was the most incredible thing I've ever seen, because it was such an uninhibited experience. Like, she must have felt the same euphoria, you know, that I was feeling, and that's kind of how I take it. The pleasure that I felt of her coming through my body, you know, from my womb and out is the greatest orgasm that I've ever felt, and I've had a lot now. So, yeah, I don't think if I had known my cervix as well, or really, you know, because Kim really encourages that you really get to know like every nook and cranny of your vagina, and I did. And so that's what enabled me to feel the entire experience and actually have it feel good. It never felt like I was pushing back, or like I didn't want her to come out, or like I was afraid of how she was going to come out. It was just a completely natural thing that felt amazing. And like I said, it was extremely spontaneous. Like, I was kind of laboring, hanging out in the pool, and then suddenly she's there, you know? So, and it just kind of pains me that a lot of women, they don't have that experience. And I do think a lot of it is having a total disconnection to what their sexual energy can actually do for them. And that it actually does go into the realm of birth as well. Like, most people, or most women, like, they don't even know, actually, and me, like when I had my son, I did not know where my cervix was. I had no idea. I didn't even know that it could feel good. You know, I didn't even know what a cervical orgasm was, and I do now, but I found that out because of Kim's work. Like, and I've, again, like, getting through, going from a place of never having had an orgasm before I discovered Kim's work. That's the best way I like to describe it. Like, all the orgasms I've ever had have been after discovering Kim's work, and it's probably into like the hundreds now. It's ridiculous. Like, I went from 0 to, experiencing some clitoral ones, and then just like dozens of G-spot ones. And then now, like, every time that my husband and I have sex, like, I have a cervical orgasm. I just had one last night. Like, it's become a normalcy in my life, whereas there used to be nothing. What I felt like was nothing. And I can't imagine having a birth without knowing those parts of yourself. When I discovered Kim's work, I was like, this is the teacher for me. I love how she's the perfect mixture of being, deep but raw and funny. She has utter faith in you that you can reach these places, even if you don't at first. Like, I understand why a lot of women think that, it just sounds like something for her. It's just only something she's experienced, or just like a few women who've taken her salons have experienced. But that's not true, and I'm a testament to that.
Here's a video of a woman having an orgasmic birth in every sense of the word. Loving, connected, waves of ecstasy and pleasure running through her body the entire time, and feeling like she is being reborn into a stronger, wilder, and wiser version of herself.
So soft, and through each rush that I was having, I was actually purring, completely relaxing into the moment without any fear of experiencing pain. And in that, my body translated the sensation as pleasure rather than pain, and I ended up having 2 incredible rolling orgasms that just poured through me. That was a little bit of a surprise. I'm blushing.
This is possible for every woman. This is how birth was intended to be. Bliss. To learn how to have an organic, orgasmic, and self-empowered birth, check out my Sexy Mama online salon and free video series. The link for those is below this video. And for overall life, love, and the best orgasm education on the web, subscribe to my channel.